Hi everyone, Julie here with Equip the Light, where we equip you with the knowledge of Jesus and His Word so that you can know Him and walk in the calling that He has for you. Today we're covering the introduction for week 11 in the Jesus to Me Bible study in the Gospel of John, in John chapter 6, when Jesus multiplies 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to feed a crowd of several thousands. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like and share button, and you can find the free Bible study worksheets that go along with this study at equipthelight.com/Jesus to me. In this video, you'll find out who is both the multiplier and the true bread of heaven. Coming up next. When Jesus crossed the Sea of Galilee into Tiberias, a desert-like place with lots of mountains, a large crowd of more than 5,000 people gathered to him as he healed the sick. Jesus knew what he was going to do next, but the disciples didn't. He asked Philip where could they buy bread to feed the multitude. Philip responded they only had a day's wages. Andrew responded by saying they only had the lunch of a boy, which was 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. They had little to give in the face of a need the size of a mountain. Jesus wanted to feed everyone, but to the disciples this was an impossible request. This temporary impossible need became an opportunity for Jesus to reveal another aspect about who he was, the true bread out of heaven. Jesus had the people sit down at his table, then he took the bread, gave thanks to God for what they had, and then he broke the bread and it was distributed to the crowd. He did the same for the fish. Everyone had their fill. 12 baskets remained and were gathered. The people wanted to force Jesus to be king, so when Jesus crossed over to the other side of the sea, the same crowd followed him, seeking him not only because of the signs they saw, but because they ate and their bellies were filled. Jesus told them that instead of working for food that perishes, it was better to work for the food which endures to eternal life. This work is not the type of striving work humans were cursed with in the Garden of Eden when sin entered the world, but a spiritual type of work that requires no human exertion at all. In fact, it's a free gift and requires quite the opposite, a surrender of the will and a simple belief and faith in Jesus. This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent. The people still didn't understand what Jesus was saying and wanted a sign to show that he was the Messiah. They said their forefather Moses gave them bread out of heaven, manna. Jesus corrected them that it was his Father who now gives them the true bread of heaven, the bread of eternal life. In the wilderness, the Israelites ate the manna and were sustained for a little while, but they still died because they were mortal. They were spiritually dead because of their unbelief, and because of their unbelief in God's promise, God let them die out. In this week's study, you'll find out why many, even after Jesus performed the miracle, still stumbled in unbelief that Jesus was the Messiah, and what Jesus meant when he said, "Unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in yourselves." So I'll see you at the end of the week for this week's recap.
Equip the Light wants to equip you with the knowledge of Jesus and his word so that you can know him and step into the calling that he's called you to. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks everyone.
In John chapter 6, when Jesus multiplies 5 loaves of fish,